Batman has been played by many actors. Each brought their own style, and each left their mark on the legacy of The Dark Knight. Let's look at the most hated and the most loved versions of Batman, and what made them stand out on screen. When Michael Keaton was first cast in Tim Burton's Batman 1989, fans were furious. Keaton was mostly known for comedy roles, and people couldn't imagine him as a dark, brooding superhero. But once the film hit theaters, he silenced every critic. His Batman wasn't just a man in a costume, he felt like a creature of the night. Keaton played Bruce Wayne as quiet, awkward, and almost fragile. But the moment he put on the cape and cowl, he transformed into something terrifying. His Batman didn't rely on charm or brute strength, he relied on presence. He even slept upside down like a bat. One of the most iconic quirks of his performance was the stiff head movement caused by the cowl design. Instead of hurting the role, it added to his inhuman, statue-like appearance. Combined with Burton's gothic vision of Gotham, Keaton's Batman looked and moved like an urban legend, something criminals whispered about in fear. In Batman Returns 1992, Keaton went even darker. His Batman delivered a version of the character that was gothic and strange, yet compelling. But Warner Brothers decided Burton's vision was too dark, which ended Keaton's run. Still, his two films cemented Batman as a pop culture giant, proving the character could be serious, mysterious, and iconic. Decades later, Keaton returned in The Flash 2023. Even though the film itself was divisive, fans loved seeing him back in the cape. In that movie, he even fought with more agility and brutality, showing us a glimpse of what his Batman might have become had his journey continued. For many fans, Keaton is the definitive Batman, the one who first brought the Dark Knight out of campy fun and into a world of shadows.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Val Kilmer wore the cape in Batman Forever, stepping in after Michael Keaton. On paper, he looked like the perfect Batman, tall, brooding, with the classic square jaw, but the Batsuit turned into his biggest enemy. It weighed almost 100 pounds, and was so stiff he couldn't even hear his co-stars. Kilmer later admitted the suit did more acting than he could. His Batman did explore Bruce Wayne's psychology, asking whether he could live a normal life without the mask. But the film's neon style and amazing villains, Jim Carrey's Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face completely overshadowed him. Kilmer's Batman isn't remembered as the worst, but as the one stuck in between eras. Too serious for Schumacher's colorful tone, too flashy for Burton's gothic vision. In the end, he became more infamous for the suit than for the performance itself. Then there was George Clooney in Batman and Robin. With his charming smile and lighthearted delivery, his Batman felt more like a parody than a superhero. The infamous ice skating fights, the Bat credit card, bat-nipples, and the campy tone turned the movie into a punchline.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
There were so many scenes that felt completely illogical. It was more like a weird dream than a Batman movie. Clooney himself has admitted it was a disaster, once joking that he personally killed the franchise. For many fans, Clooney remains the most hated Batman of all time.
Didn't you apologize to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin?
I always apologize for Batman.
Christian Bale redefined Batman for a new generation in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. His version wasn't just a man in a suit, he was a carefully built symbol. Bale's Bruce Wayne worked closely with Lucius Fox to design his own gadgets, armor, and camouflage, making his Batman the most practical and tactical we had ever seen. What made Bale's Batman stand out was the balance between vulnerability and strength. We saw his fears in Batman Begins, as he confronted his trauma and turned it into power. In The Dark Knight, he faced his greatest challenge in Heath Ledger's Joker, a villain who couldn't be beaten with fists or gadgets. Their interrogation scene is still considered one of the most intense moments in comic book movie history.
You have nothing to threaten me.
Bale's restraint choosing not to kill the Joker even after everything showed his incorruptible side. By The Dark Knight Rises, Bale's Batman had become a legend in Gotham. Broken, scarred, and worn down, he still returned to fight for the city one last time. His rise from despair, symbolized by climbing out of the pit, showed Batman not just as a hero, but as a symbol of endurance and hope. Some fans poke fun at his raspy bat voice, but for most, Bale gave us the most complete Batman arc on screen, grounded, intelligent, and incorruptible. His trilogy didn't just make Batman believable, it made him mythic.
No, I swear to God. Swear to me!
Ben Affleck's Batman, or Batfleck, brought a version of the Dark Knight we had never seen before on film. Older, bulkier, and war-hardened. Unlike Bale's younger, incorruptible hero, Affleck's Bruce Wayne had already fought crime for 20 years, and he carried the scars both physical and emotional. His Batcave was filled with the ghosts of the past, including Robin's suit marked by the Joker, hinting at tragedies we never fully saw. Affleck's Batman was also the most physically intimidating, towering over criminals, moving like a tank, and fighting with raw brutality. The warehouse fight scene in Batman v Superman is still praised as one of the best Batman fight sequences ever, lifted straight out of the Arkham video games. But this came at a cost. His Batman was willing to kill, branding criminals and mowing down enemies, something that split fans right down the middle. As Bruce Wayne, Affleck leaned into the idea of a broken, cynical man who had lost faith in people. In Batman v Superman, his paranoia pushed him to fight Superman, seeing him as a godlike threat, but by the end, his arc shifted. He realized he couldn't be just a figure of vengeance, he needed to inspire and lead. That set the stage for his role in Justice League, where he acted more like the strategist and leader of the team. Unfortunately, the messy state of the DCEU meant his Batman never got the full arc Snyder intended. For some, Affleck is the best-looking Batman ever put on screen, the perfect mix of comic-accurate physique and presence. For others, his darker, more corrupted version felt too far removed from the hero they loved. Either way, Affleck's Batman remains one of the boldest takes on the character. Robert Pattinson's The Batman gave us a version unlike any before. Raw, obsessive, and deeply grounded in noir. His Bruce Wayne isn't the charming billionaire we usually see. He's withdrawn, sleepless, and almost as much of a recluse as the criminals he hunts. In this take, Bruce and Batman are the same person. There's no mask of Playboy Bruce Wayne to hide behind. He is Batman every hour of the day. His suit reflected that too. Instead of military-grade armor or sleek tech, Pattinson's Batsuit looked homemade, built from real-world resources. Stitched leather, steel plates, and even a bat symbol forged from a gun. It wasn't about style, it was about utility. This made his Batman feel more like a vigilante in the shadows than a polished superhero. Pattinson's Gotham was pure detective noir. He wasn't just punching criminals. He was solving puzzles, following clues, and uncovering conspiracies. The funeral bombing scene showed his fearlessness in the face of danger, while his interactions with Selina Kyle added emotional vulnerability. But the most powerful part of Pattinson's Batman was his transformation. At the start, he declares,
I'm vengeance.
But when the Riddler's followers repeat the same words, he realizes that his mission can't just be about fear and punishment.
I'm vengeance.
By the end, when he leads Gotham's survivors through the flood with a flare in his hand, he becomes something more, a symbol of hope. This Batman is still early in his journey, rough around the edges, a little unhinged, but also evolving. That's what makes him exciting. Fans feel like we're watching the becoming of the Dark Knight, not the finished myth. Many now see Pattinson as one of the most promising Batman, with plenty of room to grow in the sequels. Of course, not all Batman were dark. Adam West's 1960s Batman was the complete opposite. Campy, colorful, and endlessly charming. With gadgets like shark repellent spray and those iconic POW fight graphics, West's Batman wasn't about trauma or vengeance. He was about fun. Today, younger fans might laugh at how goofy it looks, but his Batman became a cultural phenomenon of the 60s and still holds a beloved place in history. And finally, we can't forget Kevin Conroy, the legendary voice behind Batman the Animated Series and the Arkham video games. Conroy gave Batman his soul, calm and human as Bruce Wayne, terrifying and commanding as Batman. For decades, fans heard his voice as the definitive Batman. To this day, when people read a Batman comic, it's Conroy's voice they imagine. In animation, he wasn't just voicing Batman. He was Batman.
Don't worry about me. You're needed out there.
Each actor brought something unique, whether loved or hated. But the real question is, who's your Batman? Tell me in the comments below.
I want to thank you all for coming here tonight and drinking all of my booze.